For you, those of you who have tuned in to join us here. And we also are going to be doing some live streaming on Facebook Live in just a second, so bear with us as we get. Well, as always, there's lots of things to talk about in the world of sports, and we have a full house here tonight. Full house is in the building tonight. So we'll go around real quickly here. First, to my right, he's a deacon in his church, but he's a bad man here. Mr. Miles Tyson is in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Back from a long sabbatical out there being the, I want to call him the young mogul, Mr. Reggie Brown is in the building.
Yes, sir. Excited to get back in here and talk some sports.
All right, I'm gonna kind of skip order here for a second because she's getting herself situated in her seat so she can kind of, at least say hello real quick. She's going to be doing our community outreach segment at our break. But first, we're going to go over to a guy that patrolled the flats, played on the 1990 championship team with Georgia Tech. They called him simply Captain America. Ken Swilling is in the building.
Yeah, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. Good to have your pipes back in.
Well, it's good to be here.
Basso profundo.
It's good to be here.
He's right back in here. And then we're going to pass the mic to our lovely community outreach maven, the one and only Vasier Serrano is in the building.
The word maven makes me feel a little old.
Wow.
We'll get into that later on. How y'all doing this evening?
I see clearly I can't use any type of highfalutin talk here unless someone get offended. And I'm having Pekin, even though he's going to join us at the 8:15 segment here. He is a world champion boxer, and he is now doing some dynamite things outside of the ring. He is a filmmaker, and he is a man on a mission. YaYah McClain is in the building. He's going to give us a shout-out right quick.
Hey, how y'all doing?
And he's going to jump on with us after the 8:15 break along with Ms. Vasier Serrano. So good to have him here because there's some good stuff going on in the community, and we always like to tell you what is going on in the community as well. Speaking in the community, there is a stadium up the road that is rocking. The Braves, Mr. Ken, looks like they are handling their business out there at SunTrust Park. They broke it in fine style. They've won 4 straight.
Actually, they've won 4 straight at home.
At home, yes, sir.
And they're on a 5-game winning streak.
5-game winning streak.
So, they're doing really well. I'm really impressed with them. I think once they got out of the cold weather, it was a little bit better for them. Starting on the road the way they did, having to play in Pittsburgh where it snowed. That was
for a Southern team.
That was never good for a Southern team. So that was really good to see them get off the snide, and everybody was kind of writing them off and thinking it was going to be one of those things. And it's early yet. I mean, that's such a long season. Oh my God, it's such a long season. So
162 games to be exact.
So it's it's very long, very grueling, and it's going to be a grind. And I think if they can play 500 ball, they might slip themselves into a wild card situation. You never know.
Even with them being a young team like that they are, you think they can stay consistent enough to be like that?
Yeah, and that's the thing about it, and it's going to be consistency, of course. Getting them to stay consistent. Baseball injuries always pop up, and they rear their head. So it's one of those things. They're not as as stealth as football players, as they say, or as meaty as football players. So, a little toenail or a hangnail here can bring them out of a football game, a baseball game, and cause them not to play. But hopefully, we can see them stay healthy and get things going. And it's been good to see so far.
Well, Captain, you seem like you took a couple of shots there. I'm going to leave it alone.
I'm not taking shots. I like baseball players. I used to play baseball. So
my thing is with the Braves, with any Atlanta sports team.
Oh, here we go.
I can't come out the gate and say, man, they're going to make the playoffs or they're going to make the wild card at that.
No, you can't do that.
I have to at least see them until the summertime. Be like, okay, well, they actually might do something this year because knowing Atlanta, we'll actually start off real good, come to the second half stretch, and just fall off.
Well, you got to be optimistic, Ray. It's called optimism.
There's no optimism with Atlanta sports. Man, Falcons had optimism for the whole
Hey, we're not talking about the Falcons. We're talking about the Braves right
Same.
now. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone, Reggie. I'm still so, man.
Actually, so am I because I haven't actually been, I won't say been forced. I've been happily been able to do this. I'm just going to give myself a shout out here. A lot of those of you who follow me on social media know that I also have been trying to branch into the TV arena, and fortunately AIB TV here in Atlanta, channel 295 on Comcast and channel 6 on AT&T was gracious enough to actually let me produce 2 of their Skybox segments, a monthly broadcast that repeats itself. And wouldn't you know that my first produced broadcast, one of the segments was chronicling the Falcons' run to the Super Bowl. So, you know, I had to watch that again.
I was like, how'd that taste?
Not too good. But fortunately, I did end it with a high note. I did end it by saying that the Falcons, you know, will probably be back next year, and hopefully they will. But basically, we lived that. But at the end of the day, we got to look at what we have right now with the Atlanta Braves. It's a very short segment. Obviously, 12 games in. You're not even a tenth of a way through the 162-game season, but they are 6-6 and just one game behind the Washington Nationals, who they are playing right now. And speaking of playing right now, we have a guy that's a friend of this program. We normally know him as the great writer for, you know, 24/7 Sports. Does some stuff with the Packers, does some stuff with the Bulldogs. But this guy's multifaceted. He is right there now at SunTrust Park. Brian Jones, give us an update, man. What is cooking there with the Braves and the Nationals?
Right now, it's the bottom of the second, and there's no score. This is going to be a low-scoring affair type of game tonight because the Braves are going up against Max Scherzer of the Nationals. He's a really good veteran. He's a guy that you have to get to early. If you don't let him settle into a groove, then it's just going to be a long night for the Braves. And for the Braves, it's Michael Nevich who's pitching. He has struggled a little bit this year. He has a ERA of over 6, but against the Nationals, he has a earned run average of just under 4. So far, it's been a very good battle between two pitchers, and I think it's just going to be a low-scoring affair, unlike it was with the Braves and the Padres in the last 4 games.
Well, Brian, tell us again, man. I mean, we talked about a little bit the stadium. I got a chance to take a quick peek of the outside of the stadium. We got some shots from you on the inside. Is it as beautiful as it looks from the outside looking in?
Yeah, it absolutely is, and I think, you know, as you look at the stadium, as you look at the Battery Atlanta, you understand why the Braves wanted to move here to Cobb County. You know, they had a vision. They want fans to get here early. They want to enjoy the Battery. They want to experience everything SunTrust Park has to offer. Turner Field was a great stadium, but it was kind of dated when you compare it to SunTrust Park. And, you know, this past weekend was a huge success for them. You know, there was the traffic. There was little complaints about traffic. You know, the feedback from the fans was really good. And, you know, people loved the Battery. They loved the concert before and after the game. So it was a huge success for the Braves, and it's going to be a good season for them in terms of the SunTrust Park and the Battery Atlanta.
It's been a good season. How hot is Freddie Freeman? He leads the Braves in virtually every category, except for maybe RBIs with Ender Inciarte handling there. But how good has Freddie looked? Batting around 500 in the first couple of games of the season. First 12 games, I should say.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman's just been on fire right now. Yeah, he just got a hit tonight in his first at-bat, so he's been 5 for 5 when you look back to last night. I think he's becoming more of a leader this year because he understands that in the past that he really didn't want to take that leadership role, but I think he realizes that he's getting older. He's tired of not playing significant baseball in September and October. So I think he's just taking his game to a next level. He's leading more by example, and I think the other Braves have fed off of that. You look at Ender Inciarte, he has 4 home runs already. He had 4 home runs all last year, and then Dansby Swanson was able to come up with a walk-off hit. So I think because of Freddie Freeman's success on the plate, the Braves' offense has been performing well these last 5 games, and if he continues to play well, I think the Braves have a chance to finish the season 500 or better.
Hi, Mr. Jones. This is Reggie Brown, and my question to you is, looking from the Braves last year, what strategy, what do they have to do differently this year to try to contend in the playoffs this year?
Well, I think the biggest thing they have to do is it really comes down to the pitching. You know, they were able to add Bartolo Colon. They were able to add Jaime Garcia and R.A. Dickey as starting rotation. And, you know, their first outings weren't that great, but when they got their second appearances, they were able to settle in. You know, they're not going to, you know, have standout numbers, but as long as they're solid, they give the Braves a chance. You know what you're going to get out of Julio Teheran. He's looked pretty strong so far in his first 2 appearances. And, you know, your 5th starter, I think Mike Nevich has potential, you know, to do some good things. I think the starting pitching and the bullpen is going to be key. I think offensively they'll be fine. When you have Freddie, once you get Matt Kemp back, I think him, along with Freddie Freeman, were able, to carry that team. And I think the way that Andy Arte is hitting the baseball right now, that's really going to pay dividends for the Braves moving forward. So I think this lineup overall is just a lot better than what it was last year. And this doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a playoff team, but I think if they're able to play 500 baseball all year, they have a chance to make a wild card. And I think that will lead into next year. They can really contend for the NL East.
No doubt. Well, listen, Brian, I know you are right in the middle of it, so give us information on how they can follow you with Braves coverage and also with football coverage as well.
You can follow me on Twitter, which is at Brian Jones, Brian Jones 24/7. And then I'm also the lead writer, editor, and publisher for the Green Bay Packers on 24/7 Sports. You can find that on Facebook. Just type in Green Bay Packers on 24/7 Sports, or you can follow that online at gnb.247sports.com.
Brian Jones, a bad man. Listen, man, we appreciate you, and we look forward to having you back on again real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, phone lines are open, 404-361-1571. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast you right here on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO. Big K, the other news is kind of, I hate to call it bad news, but Pirates outfielder Sterling Marte is out for 80 games, so basically half the season. I mean, I understand. Well, actually, I really don't understand. Trying to come back from injuries, I guess, trying to keep yourself at the top of your game, obviously coming off an all-star season. But what is that just an overloading temptation for a young man to say, I got to have that edge? I mean, because I guess you guys are making a lot of money. I mean, what's your
when you're playing 162 games a season, it has a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's not like these football players who may take steroids, but when you're using PEDs like that, it's just.
Oh, wait a minute. He's a baseball player that took a PED.
Right.
So it's performance-enhancing drugs for those of you who don't know.
Right.
So it could be something that I don't know exactly what the drug was or whatever it was. However, it is a situation where these guys are willing to take the risk now. More are willing to take the risk with their body, with their life, because of the money that is involved in it. There's so much money being made right now.
A lot of money.
It's an insane amount of money being made, and they feel if they can get that 1 year or have that one time, those contracts aren't like football contracts. They're guaranteed.
Yes, sir.
To the door.
Everything.
So they're getting everything. So, when you think about that, 80 million, compared to, doing some other things, I just couldn't. I could never do it. The reason why, quick story, the reason why I could never do drugs, period, was because of the impact that Len Bias had on my life. His death, his death, had a tremendous impact. I was about 16 years old when it happened, and I swore at that moment that I would never take drugs, never do anything to do that. And there are guys out there who are willing. Football in all sports. That's not football, just not baseball. In all sports, they do some things, that are right. If they're not over the line, they're right at the line because they're trying to gain an advantage, whether it be in competition, whether it be in taking Adderall so they can concentrate more, or whatever it is, they're trying to get right to that line of being competitive because it's a highly competitive industry. And, there's nothing worse to an old man than a young man because a young man, a rookie is waiting every season to take your spot. So you got to go out there and fight, and sometimes guys step over the line and take performance-enhancing drugs to help them still perform. And I think sometimes it's still mental, though. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think it's mental. There are things that do help the body. I know that. I know there are things that do help, but, I just think guys, are in this situation, it's crazy that he would risk that much and lose 80 games of the season, and now he doesn't only hurt himself, but he hurts his team. So.
No doubt, yeah, because the Pirates were a contender for the wild card. We're about to go to a break, but I just want to give you an idea when Mr. Captain America talks about the salary. We pull this up here. This is what Sterling Marte was set up to earn. 2015, he was only $1 million baby, but his salary was supposed to increase to $3 million as a 27-year-old in 2016. It would taper back down to $2 million. In 2017, but then let's check these numbers. 2018, $7.5 million. 2019, $10 million. And if he stood around with the 2 extensions by 2020, he'd be at $11.5 million. So that's a whole lot of cheddar to be waved in front of your nose. Well, listen, guys, stay with us right here on the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment to talk with you about more about what's going on around the A. All right, guys, we're going to play a little switch around here. We're going to have the young gun slide out. We're going to have Mr. YaYah McClain come in. We're going to have the lovely Miss Vasia Serrano join us as well. And we're going to talk to them about the great things we've got going in the community. And before we do that, we're also going to bounce around the question really quickly about what's happening with the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Are they going to be able to have that thing up and running for football season or what? That's the big question. We'll ask you guys what you think. And we got some giveaways coming, But not now. You have to stay locked to get the giveaways.
We'll play at Bobby Dodd Stadium. It don't matter.
Right.
It don't matter.
Okay. All right.
Where am I sitting?
Okay, we're gonna have you sit right there. And I'm gonna have Vosh here kind of slide underneath there if we can.
Across from McDonald's has low prices on new ATVs, dirt bikes, go-karts, and scooters. Yes, the spring.
Both of them in the picture.
I'm about to move this over here so we can see y'all.
All right, guys, we're doing a little moving there so you can see our guests a little bit better. And plus, Vosh looks better than me anyway.
The rows between some thorns.
They're better.
Champions in the building. We got 2 champions here, right here. College football champion, 1990, boxing champion right here. What year, bro? What year? Well, you're the older guy. You're from Minute, didn't you?
96 and
1980,
98.
3 years, right? Yeah.
Something like that. 96, no.
I'm gonna use this one since it's on the side. Thank you.
Let me see if I get another.
Sales and the new V3 CD Alive will be on sale for $8.99. Come join V3 at DBS Sounds on April 22nd, beginning at 11 a.m. for the WIGO exclusive meet and greet. Brought to you by Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570 AM.
This is Kent Bazemore, the Atlanta Hawks, and you're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is the way to go. This is the way to go. Yeah, they calling me a Jesus freak.
Coming back with a little Christian hip-hop there, going back a few years. My good buddy B. Wise, Brandon B. Wise, got some good stuff out, but that was one of his classics. Do you want to know? I'll show you the way to the kingdom, which is a relationship with Jesus Christ. So, I like to always tell you that's the way to go. Before we get into our community outreach segment, I just want to toss this out here. For those of you who have not been aware, we got some, I don't want to say breaking news per se, but we do have some news about the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is official. The stadium will not be opening on time. They are still having evidently some roof problems, and so they will not be opening on time. So for those of you who are Atlanta United Football Club fans, you will not be the first game in the new stadium. You will continue to play your games at Bobby Dodd for the foreseeable future, and it does appear that the first games will probably not be until the Falcons have opened up their exhibition season. They are, however, slated to have the Chick-fil-A kickoff games there on as scheduled. So, Mr. Miles, you can rest assured that Tennessee will be able to play in that bright, shiny new stadium.
Can't wait. We're waiting for that moment.
And Mr. Ken, I'm sure that you're excited
that
about
moment.
I'm very excited, and I must say, Miles, y'all better bring it. I'm trying to tell you right now, my boys ready. They're down there getting ready right now. I'm telling you.
And
I really feel it.
And as you can see, Captain America's already fired up, and we're going to talk about college football in the next segment and the spring game, all that kind of good stuff. But as you know, we always like to try to do a community outreach segment here. I have a gentleman here that is a great champion, both in the ring and out of the ring. But I'm going to let Ms. Vasia Serrano tell you a little bit more about him. All I can say is I'm happy my man YaYah's in the building, because we've been trying to get this together for a couple of years now. So I'm excited, man. Our schedule's hooked up. But Ms. Vasia, the floor is yours.
Why, thank you, Minister. And as you mentioned, we have the amazing YaYah McClain, two-time world champion boxer, in the ring with us this evening. Good evening, YaYah.
Thanks for having me. Good evening to you.
Now, I'm going to, for those people who don't know, I'm going to let you kind of give yourself an introduction, let them know who you are. Go ahead, break it on down.
Make sure the mic is all the way on.
All right. My name is YaYah. My name is YaYah McClain. I'm a former Marine. I'm a two-time world champion boxer. I'm from New York. I'm a father. I have two beautiful children. I'm a husband. I have a beautiful wife, brothers. I mean, you know, I'm a poet. I'm a filmmaker. I pretty much I do whatever I want to do. I mean, like, I don't put any limits on me. You know, if I think I can do it, I learn what it takes to get it done, and I go for mine. You know, and I have a book. My book is called And Still, and it's on Amazon. You know, so, you know, I go for mine, you know.
And as far as you not working outside of limits, not limiting yourself, I understand that, and this is a great connection because you decided that you were going to go to film school at a late stage to learn more about what you're doing now. And I understand you are a award-winning film director, and your documentary Casualties of War, Women and Regime is why we're here this evening talking about. It's a documentary, and it's, you know, the film pretty much shows a perspective and gives a voice to children, parents, grandparents, in essence, families that have been affected by the business of family law in America, which was established to help children, but it has turned into a multi-billion-dollar business which alienates many, to include the fathers, at a disproportionate rate. And you being a father, I can see where your tie-in is to this and why it's so important to you just on the surface, but if you care to share with everyone else why it's so important to you.
Well, first let me just clarify one thing. So it's called Casualties of War, Women and the Regime. And, well, kind of like this definition also tells you why it's important to me. It's called Casualties of War, Women and the Regime because 85% of the time it's the women that run to the court in the case of divorce or separation with a child involved. And so it was a woman that did this to me. My ex-wife is the reason that I got involved in this. You know, I have a son that's 7 years old. I haven't seen him since October. Prior to that, I hadn't seen him since November of 2015. This is all due to the bitterness of a divorce. You know, we got divorced, and all these games start. But once I started going through this, I started reaching out to groups on Facebook and learning about, you know, how ubiquitous of a problem this was. So then I was like, you know, I need to write a movie about this, because I went back to film school so that I can learn to do the proper things to make the films the proper way, because I had already made one movie and I got nominated, but I didn't win anything in a film festival in San Diego. So I went back to school to learn the proper way to do it. And so, of course, I wanted to make a movie once I started learning about how ubiquitous of a problem this was. But as I was learning, I started learning how serious it was. And I was like, nah, I can't just do a movie about this. You know, I want to do a documentary about this. I want this to be vetted. I want it to be facts, stats, and, you know, so for the last year and a half, I've been traveling the country, and I've talked to, I don't know how many of them so far, but at least 50 of them are in the documentary. This is men, and it's not just men. There are women. You know, there's one woman in my documentary, Gwendolyn Chubb. She hasn't seen her her children in 8 years. You know, and so once I started learning about this, and I decided to make this documentary, because it's, when you say it's a multi-million-dollar business, it's a $50 billion a year industry. Real quick, just a quick example. I pay child support. There's 23 million alienated parents in America. I ain't gonna say everyone of us, the majority of us are on child support. $1.50 of that out of mine goes to the state for processing fees. If you got 23 million paying $1.50 a month for processing fees, there's the business right there. And that's just one step. And that's from Title 4D of the Social Security Act. Title 4E is the foster care, where they will literally take a child from two parents that want the child, and they can't decide where it's going to go. So, we'll put them in foster care. This can take a year, 2 years, while they decide where the child goes. Meanwhile, they're getting federal funding for that. So it's all a racket, and so that's why I'm doing this documentary. It's called Casualties of War, Women and the Regime, and it's about parental alienation and the corruption in the family law court system across America, which brings me to mind that I do have a GoFundMe up, and I've traveled the last year and a half funding this out of my own pocket, breaking my wife, my mother, her mother, everybody, to try to get it done. And I'm at a point now where I'm trying to raise $50,000 for the post-production of it. And I have a GoFundMe, but if you go to casualtiesofwar.us, you'll see the trailer, you'll see the GoFundMe, you'll see my biography, you'll see everything that you need to know pretty much about me on this website, casualtiesofwar.us.
Now, what are your hopes as far as putting the information out there? Of course, you're hoping to educate everyone as far as what is going on, I guess, behind the scenes and actually in front of our face as well. But you personally, what are you looking to accomplish by focusing on this in your documentary?
To raise awareness, because, lots of people hear about baby mama drama, but they have no idea how bad this is. They have no idea about the money that's involved in this. They have no idea that fathers are committing suicide every day because they can't see their children. Little kids are committing suicide because they can't see one parent or the other, and they think that it's their fault. So people really don't know how bad of a problem this is. And the laws that are put in place, like I said, there's the thing called Title 4D from the Social Security Act about child support. Title 4E of the Social Security Act is for foster care. And there's lots of more other things like that. But these laws, I'm not trying to, make the courts do the right thing. We're trying to repeal these laws. We're trying to repeal these things. And the only way we can do that is by having the masses behind us. So when you do a documentary, I call it putting the medicine in the candy. Because sometimes this stuff can be so raw that it's hard to swallow. But when you put it in something that's entertaining and educating you at the same time, people will pay attention. And I have Roy Jones in it. I have Joe Smith, the NBA player, in it. I have some doctors, lawyers, mothers, grandmothers, the caliber of people that are in this film, and it's so diverse. I want to get that out the way, because a lot of times I speak to brothers and they automatically assume the way the black woman is doing us, and it's not that. It's not that at all. It is a green thing. It's all about money. And if we all educate ourselves, for one, by watching this documentary, and I'm hoping that after you watch this documentary, you will then go and do further research and educate yourself. And then once we learn these things and we start taking back control of our children's destiny by not allowing the courts to come in and interfere with what God has given us, then that's how we can make change. Because we don't need anyone to come tell us how to take care of a kid, when we were married or when we were together, we were taking care of the kid just fine. Now all of a sudden, because we're not together, one of them don't know how to take care of the kid all of a sudden. No, it's just about money. And if we take the power away from the court system, away from the government, then we won't be having these problems. And the other thing is that the majority of America's social ills are due to fatherless homes. The rape, the murders, 90% of youths in prison were raised by single moms. I could go on for days talking about the stats and the effects of what happens. So a lot of times people don't want to get involved because they think, oh, it's not affecting me. Well, it absolutely is affecting you, because for one, you don't know when one of these children that have been affected, or one of these fathers, like, God forbid that's the reason was, but the guy that just killed the old man. They say it was about a girl or whatever, but that could have been him not being able to see his children or whatever. And this is the type of things that they do that sets them off. So yes, you are directly affected. Everyone is affected by this.
Look, man, as always, the time gets away from us kind of quick. We got to go to a break. But the one thing I want to do before I have you give everybody information where they can follow you, a growing problem. And matter of fact, and I'm going to give her a shout out really quick. There's a young lady, Dr. Tony Tori Evans Barton, that has a organization called the Fatherless Generation. That's one of the things that she started attacking, was the fact that fathers were being removed from the home involuntarily. Okay, I'm not talking about, a guy that's, broken some laws or he's abused his wife or his kids. This is a guy that said, I want to be a part of the family, but the wife has actually used a child. In some cases, the husband done the same thing to the mother, used the child as a pawn or as a wedge to get back at the other parent. So it's really important that you bring this out, man. And I guess the other thing that is just great for me to see is that one thing to admire is when a guy that's a tough guy, because you get in that ring, brother, it's just you and the other fighter. You can't be no lightweight.
Right.
So the fact that you would come out and tell guys that, hey, listen, man, that this is a sensitivity issue. That, man, I saw guys on there that look like tough guys weeping. Guys, I just want to see my child. So again,
Well, you see me crying in the
same
documentary.
thing, bro. Yeah. So give people your information, how they can follow you, website, social media. I know you're working on getting the millennials helping our social media, but at least give me the website
The
and
website
the GoFundMe information.
The website is casualtiesofwar.us. And if you go to the website, you will see the trailer. The GoFundMe is there. All the information you need, my social media info, everything is there. Casualtiesofwar.us. And I look to premiere the film September 15th right here in Atlanta. This is my 50th birthday, and I can't think of a better way to celebrate it than to show my son that I'm fighting for him. Because, like you said, I'm a two-time world champion. I'm from New York. I'm a Marine. I've been fighting all my life. But this is by far the hardest fight I've ever been involved in.
Well, it is, guys, a champion inside and outside the ring. YaYah McClain, thanks for joining us. We're about to go to a break, but you're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show here on Atlanta's incredible radio, WIGO 1570. Keep it locked, because it's going to get even better, guys.
Hi there, my name is Tim Mullen.
For the hearts, thank you, guys. Hope you guys got the information. Please go to the website. He's there. There's a captain right there in the building. He's getting set to talk about his Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. The lovely Miss Bossier. I can just keep the camera on her. I know you guys are just like that, but unfortunately I have other people in the booth. Deacon is with us as well. There he is. These guys, him and BJ, about to do their own show, guys, starting this Friday. They're about to branch out. We're spinning them off as fast and furious.
Game time, baby.
Game time sports is about to be good. All right, everybody, again, YaYah McClain in the building. Thanks for being with us, bro.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, well, lady.
My pleasure. Bro, hang tight, man. We do a little picture thing afterwards. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm done.
You want me to go ahead and put this back over there?
Actually, that seems like it shoots pretty good that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty
we got
cool.
everybody good. Okay.
See y'all guys later.
Everybody want to see this handsome face, man. I want to see it, bro.
Please, the back of your head is definitely. I told you much long time ago. People made for radio.
Have a call D. And good food. Well, don't miss the first annual Shrimp Fest on Saturday, April the 29th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Lee Street Park and Amphitheater, 155 Lee Street in Jonesboro, Georgia. Brought to you by the Clayton County Chamber of Commerce and the City of Jonesboro. This event will bring chamber members, the business community, and all of Clayton County together for a night of fun and great networking for all. Attendees will enjoy live bands, dancing, drinks, raffle tickets, drawings, and an array of heaping portions of mouth-watering shrimp and other great food with all the fixings. Sponsorships, corporate tables, and a VIP experience are still available. This event will sell out fast, so get your tickets now. Call the Clayton County Chamber at 678-610-4021 for more information or to get your tickets. It's the 2017 Shrimp Fest, April 29th at the Lee Street Park and Amphitheater in Jonesboro, Georgia. It's going to be a great time for you and the entire family.
This is Harry Douglas, and you're listening to Real Talk Sports.
With the 17th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Keanu Neal, defensive back, Florida.
How y'all doing? Fantastic.
What was it like getting the news tonight that you were drafted by the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, I kind of wanted that to be the team that I went to, just thinking schematically and everything. But just the coaching staff and everything, just the chemistry that we have, it's a blessing to be a part of it.
All right, guys. That was what it sounded like last year in the aftermath of the Falcons drafting Keanu Neal, a guy who I didn't say made fun of, but I basically said unless he was like Neo, Connell Reeves, then they made a bad choice, and he certainly appeared to be all that and then some. And the guy that you just heard is with us now. He is the embedded beat writer for the Atlanta Falcons with AJC Sports. He's been covering the Falcons for a good while. He always gives us the cutting edge on what's happening. D. Orlando Ledbetter is in the building. D. Led, what's going on, man?
Hey, pretty good. Not too much, Evan Jonathan. Thanks for having me on the show. Getting ready for the draft here. Hey,
bro. Good to have you back on here. All right. First of all, let's try to see if I can dispel some rumors first, because and the captain's looking at me with that look like, what kind of rumors you talking about, Richard? People keep bouncing around on social media that Richard Sherman is in play. The captain's giving me that look. Like you out your mind, but is he in play, D-Led? Any shot for him to end up in the red and black?
No, that's just folks connecting dots. The fact that he is on the trade market, he's not reporting to Seattle until May, and Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator there. The Falcons could come out and dispel that here the next day or so. Coach Dan's speaking tomorrow, and the Knicks speaking on Thursday. They have been unavailable to address that issue, so we'll certainly get on point tomorrow.
All right, so they're going to put this thing to rest, that they are out of the Sherman sweepstakes, and they're going to look to do what they've been doing the last couple of years with the bill with the draft.
Yeah, they spent too much money on their cornerbacks already, extending Robert Alford and, Desmond Trufant. Their top three cornerbacks they really like. There'd be no reason really to bring Richard Sherman in at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense. And Captain, what do you think about that? That's kind of overkill, isn't it?
Oh, that would be. I mean, that would be. They always say though, if you got two good cornerbacks, you need one more. So, I wouldn't mind it. In a perfect world, that might be a situation that if it didn't cost me a whole bunch of money or a whole bunch of draft picks, maybe I would do it. But right now, I think the Falcons are building the way through the draft, and those picks that they have in free agency are just ancillary pieces that are being used in the right way. I think when D-Lade, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like a team that builds through the draft is going to be a team that's going to be built well, and they'll have a lot of money, and they'll have a lot of cap room and all those things, because basically what the Falcons got last year was a gift, because you got essentially four starters in a draft that you're not really paying a whole lot of money for. And I know, and that's what it all comes down to. It all does come back down to the bottom line, and I don't think Richard Sherman just fits what we want to do right now.
No question about it. Unless he's a guy that he can play in the dime or play at safety, or you got your corner that knocks down the side of the field. So yeah, I don't see it. It doesn't really fit. It doesn't make sense. It's just a connection to Coach Quinn that people are finding hard to ignore.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Ledbetter? This is Miles speaking, sir.
Hey, Miles. How you doing?
How you doing, sir? With the draft being about 9 days away, week away, is there any more breakdown to what they're really? We know they're going defense, and hopefully they will be going pass rusher. But is there any marquee guy they're got the bullseye on, or really heavily talking about?
Well, the pass rushers are going to be gone by 31. So if they're going to get a pass rusher, they might have to trade up. Somebody like Jordan Willis, the defensive end in Kansas State, could be there still. Jabril Peppers, the defensive back from Michigan, the versatile defensive back linebacker, could be there. Most of the guys that, the straight edge rusher guys are going to be gone. Derek Barnett will be gone. Cecilia McKinney will be gone. Maybe a project guy like Hassan Riddick out of Temple, but he's kind of like Deep Beasley. He's 237-pound guy. So you don't really need that. You need the bulkier type of end. And a kid like Terrell Basham out of Ohio, who is they worked out and he visited here. Could be a guy for him, not at 31, but certainly in the second round. So everything's in play right now. They can try to trade up and go get Barnett or one of those guys if they're dropping, or they could bail out of there and pick up some picks and then go back and get a guy like Basham, in the middle of the second round. But we'll see. Everything's in play right now until we get going here next Thursday night out of Philadelphia.
Well, hey, Mr. Ledbetter, this is Reggie Brown. Do you think that the defensive end out of Wisconsin, T.J. Watt, J.J. Watt's brother, do you think he'll still be there around the 30-31 pick?
A week ago, I thought he was, and he was my pick for him in the last mock draft, but he's picking up steam now. A lot of people see him as a tenacious rusher in the same form as Clay Matthews III, and I got him going in the 20s now and not being available to the Falcons at 31.
Well, D'Lo, I tell you, man, it's going to be a very, very interesting draft again this year for the Falcons. Whether they're going to try to trade up, I doubt it. Like you said, they've kind of stocked the team pretty well, but there's no question that I think everybody will be salivating if they could get a T.J. Watt type guy here. I mean, that would add some extra oomph. The other thing, too, is I'm hearing some rumors that they're going to now start using Devondre Campbell more as a rusher in the rushing package versus being a pass defender. What are you hearing about that?
Nothing yet, but he was training as a defensive end last year, coming out for the draft with Big Chuck Smith, and he thought his role was going to be at the defensive end. So the Falcons were one of the few teams that looked at him as a weak side linebacker, and maybe they've seen enough of that for this year, and will probably try to move him up there and see if he can get some pressure off of the right side opposite Beasley. I'm sure they won't leave a stone unturned. He certainly impressed people as a pass rusher, and he's got some training, as I said, working under Big Chuck Smith last year before the draft.
Look, D-Lay, as always, man, the time just gets away from us real quick. Tell people how they can find out more about you, website, and, of course, your legendary 9-on-9 blog about the Falcons.
Yeah, the Cover 9 at 9 will drop tomorrow at Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on Wednesdays on AJC.com and myAJC.com. And you can follow everything on Twitter. All the stadium news too is at The Orlando AJC, at The Orlando AJC. And thanks for having me and letting me tell the folks about where they can find our work at.
Listen, man, we appreciate you, and we look forward to going back to an expanded time. We hopefully in the summertime we'll have some more time so we can really get into it, because once summertime they get back in camp, bro, everybody going to talk about the Falcons. So that's the way that works.
No doubt about it. I'm always more than happy to come on your show.
But D-Led, man, I'm very appreciative of you, man, and God bless you and have a good one.
All right, you do the same. Take care, everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, guys, real quick before we go to the break, got to just throw the question out here. The Atlanta Hawks buying or selling, I mean, they had a kind of rough start here to the postseason. I'm going to see if we can.
What's new? I mean,
Reggie.
They do this every year. Get around to that second round. Who knows? They might not even. They might not even make it past Washington.
This young cat, man. Where'd you get this cat from?
I don't know. Speaking of, I'm gonna see if we can find clip. I think it's 1349 or 1350 with Tim Hardaway. I'm gonna see if she can find that in the system there. Okay. Here's what I'm saying, guys. I mean, let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater so quick. It was one game, and remember they had a lead in the game. They were playing. I mean, they had a lead.
I mean, if you push Wall back just a little bit, I mean, I think the outcome of the game is definitely different. And my question is, what was Cephalosha? Why didn't he play? He is your defensive guy, your defensive stopper kind of guy, and he didn't even see the court. I don't know if something's going on. There are some conspiracy theories kind of things going on that he and Coach Bud might be butting heads somewhere, that's causing him not to be in the game at this moment and this time. I don't know, but I think the Hawks, still have an opportunity, still have a chance. That's one thing, beautiful thing about series is you can play the next one and you can win and right the ship and get everything. All you need is one win on the road to really get everything right.
Before we go to the break, let's see if we can hear one of those clips from Tim Hardaway in his conversation about getting ready for the playoffs.
Great point guard, great shooting guard, great role guys coming off the bench. Cortez going to do all the dirty work. Morris is going to do his thing. So we just got to go out there and match their mentality, match their effort on both ends of the floor. And, we just got to contain them, and hope, Bradley doesn't get hot like he normally does and hit all these contested shots and all these difficult shots because they feed off of that.
Well, I mean, you're out the horse's mouth, bro. It is.
That's it right there. And the thing that disappointed me the most about Game 1, if really want to be honest about it, they got punched in the mouth and did not respond. They got slapped around. They got pushed around. It's the playoffs, baby. They're gonna let a whole lot of stuff go. They're gonna let the high picks and everything. They're gonna let that go a little bit more. So those are things that we did not match that physicality. And I think Markieff Morris, he had a day that was out of his mind, and he basically outplayed Paul Millsap, who is our guy. And that's the thing about Atlanta. We don't have that guy that takes his game from being 17, 18 points a game to being 25 or 30 points a game. Dennis tried to do what he...
hit 25.
He had 25, 26 points, whatever he had, but...
Couldn't guard anybody.
He couldn't stay in front of John Wall. And John Wall was on one. I mean, simply put, he was playing championship kind of basketball, and it's hard when you got that guy, it's hard to shut him down. Yeah. It's hard to shut him down.
Where's the Hawks guy? I've been saying this all year. I'm waiting for that guy to stand up.
Well,
that's why the Hawks can't win the Eastern Conference Finals.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a break. We're going to talk maybe a little bit more Hawks, but I think we're going to talk some football because, there's Mr. Football time is coming up, guys. All right, keep it locked right here. This is Minister Jonathan Simmons. Everybody needs to be encouraged and inspired. And that's why I'm inviting you to join me on the Clarion Call broadcast every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. here on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570. The show brings you inspiration from the Word of God and information from great guests to help you make it through the week. It's the Clarion Call Show, Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m. here on WIGO. You can also listen on your mobile device with the free TuneIn radio application. Remember to check us out online at www.
How effective you are in the playoffs. You got to value possessions. You got to, all those things are necessary for you to go to the next level. Because if you don't, I mean, if you play, we had over 20 turnovers.
And actually, they were close to 20 turnovers in the first half.
In the first half. And out of those 20, how many do you think Schroeder had?
About 8 of them.
No, he only had 2.
No, Schroeder actually played.
He played a really good game. He just defensively, it is a struggle for him.
Well, he can't answer.
Okay.
That's John Wall, though. I mean,
John Wall went crazy.
Probably the second, third best point guard in the league right now.
That dude went crazy.
What I'm looking for from John Wall now is, can he put 2 and 3, 4 games back to back to back? But he hadn't never done that in the playoffs now. He had never done it in the playoffs.
He go cold in the playoffs.
You got a guy that can give you 23 points a game. Wall give you 23.
You know the thing.
Consistently.
Wall give you 23 and Hardaway might give you 6.
Hardaway give you 23. But see, that's the thing about it. The other day, Hardaway gave you nothing. So if he has his average game,
Hardaway needs to be there. He needs to be that guy for him. He got the range for 3-point man. He got to.
That game sped up for him though. The game got bad.
And we are back for the final moments of the Real Talk Sports Show. Phone lines are open, 404-361-1571. You can give us a call. We got some things we can give away tonight here, so it might be your time to give us a call. We have VIP tickets to the Shrimp Fest, first annual Shrimp Fest being held at the Jonesboro Amphitheater. Now, I'm going to tell you about this Shrimp Fest. The VIP package gets you the full Monty, gets you all your shrimp that you can eat. If you can't eat shrimp, we have other types of food there for you. They also will have beverages for you as well. So if you want to call up here while we have Mr. Football on the line, phone number is 404-361-1571 to win a VIP package for 2 to the first annual Shrimp Fest in Jonesboro, Georgia. All right, guys. Well, this young man has a show right across town, Atlanta, on 11:20 a.m. Matter of fact, our captain joins him as well on Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. on 11:20 on a show that was I would say made legendary here at WIGO. 100 yards of football. Mr. Football, thanks for being back, man.
Yeah, how y'all doing this evening? Always a pleasure.
Doing good, kind sir. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. A little tired this evening, but I'm blessed.
Well, sir, it's good to have you back in the booth. Let's get right to it. This is your favorite time of year, is it not?
Couldn't be more correct, sir.
Well,
you're totally right. Couldn't be more correct. Got another, I believe, 10 days to go.
That's about it.
Right.
10 days. NFL draft will be here. It's been, as usual, man. There's a lot of stuff been flying around. Who's going to trade up? Who's going to trade down? A lot of talk about a guy that we went back and forth on. This young man out of North Carolina. I always mess his name up here, so I hope I have it right. Mitch Trubisky. Do I have it right this time?
It's Mitchell Trubisky.
All right, Mitchell. Well, it's Mitchell now because he's climbing up the charts. Mitchell football. Now people are saying that he could be a top 5 pick, possibly going as high as number 1 to Cleveland. I mean, what do you think? I know you talked about this young man again, but let people know what has made this guy climb up the charts at this rate of speed.
Well, I think number 1 is the need of the quarterback position with the teams that need quarterbacks. Obviously, Cleveland needs a quarterback. You got the Jets. They don't know what they're really going to do. You got Buffalo. This really came in the mix with the number 10 overall selection. And I think right now the word is that he's the best quarterback prospect in the draft.
Oh, that's amazing. That's over the young man out of Gainesville as well, Deshaun Watson, huh?
Yes, sir. I hate to say it, but I think the young man out of Gainesville, it's going to be kind of really interesting to see where he falls. I've seen on some draft boards that he's fell out of the first round.
Yeah.
And even I've seen on some draft boards he's fell to the middle of the second round.
Right.
Wow.
But I think what's going to happen, you might have a Teddy Bridgewater situation.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Yep.
When Teddy was still on the board, and then Minnesota traded back in the first round and took him with the last selection, I believe.
That's right.
Mr. Football, this is Ken here.
What's up, All-American?
You got it, sir. How you doing? Hey, look. It never ceases to amaze me that after one season of football,
I'm just saying,
just one season,
right,
of football, this guy has risen to the and I know his history, I know his pedigree, I know he was Mr. Ohio, I know he was highly recruited out of high school, I understand all of that, but maybe I'm getting in my old age, maybe I'm losing a step, maybe I'm not seeing things correctly, I don't understand. What are they seeing? What do you think they're seeing that's totally different for him?
I think they're seeing a guy that came in, number 1, a guy that was highly recruited out of high school, bought into a system, was redshirted his first year. Then he really was a backup for 2 years. From my understanding, bought into the team concept. And then when he got his chance this year, he threw for 3,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 6 INTs. But I think the main thing and main asset they're looking at was the percentage of passes he completed. He was accurate, I think, on 89% of his passes. And they say he's very accurate. And I'm going to tell you something else. The young man is built very well, too. I saw a special on him last night. He about 6'3", about 230, about 225, 230, and he looks the part.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the NFL look. There's no question. He got that body, everything.
I think Deshaun Watson's the best quarterback, but from a physical standpoint, Mitch Trubisky might be one of the better prospects I've seen built from frame to top of the head. He's a pretty good built guy, man.
Guys, phone lines open 404-361-1571 if you want to get into us about the draft picks, NFL draft. Looking at Mitchell, as I've been corrected, not Mitchell Trubisky from out of North Carolina.
Mitch.
Right. No, I can't say that. No, the captain doesn't straighten me up, bro. Right.
He wants to be called Mitchell now.
Mitchell, and I see it. And actually, all the new stuff now is saying Mitchell, so I get it. And again, the stats do speak for himself. A guy hit 68% of his passes last year, 3,748 yards in the air, 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a passer rating of a stunning 157.9. So this guy put up some numbers for North Carolina. And listen, even though we didn't see it firsthand, we did get a glimpse of him on TV against the Jackets. Now, I know the Yellow Jackets didn't have the best defense, buddy, but he carved them up like a Ginsu knife. I mean, every time they tried to stop him, he just seemed to make one big play after another. I think Kenway put up about 500 yards in the air against the Jackets, I think.
You had to talk all that. That's old stuff, man. That was last year, man. Don't mind.
Wow. And that 500 yards getting to the 10th pick.
Yeah, I mean, but we might have been the one that made him jump
I
up
think
the
so,
most.
because he put some numbers up. All right, well, listen, Mr. Football, give us your top 3 or 4 picks that you think that, hey, listen, these are guys you need to lock in on as far as these guys are, shadow of a doubt, top, first-round draft picks in the NFL draft.
You want to give me my top 4 players?
Yeah, give me your top 3 or 4 guys that you think, hey, man, these guys are really can't miss picks.
Well, I was talking to somebody today, and I think the best player in the draft was a young man out of Auburn, Alabama. He didn't go to Auburn, but by way of University of Alabama, Reuben Foster. Everybody's been following me for the last month, know how I feel about this young man. Very athletic, very explosive football player, 2-year starter. I think he's the best prospect in the draft, man, pound for pound. I think the only reason that he hasn't been mentioned in the top 5 on a regular basis because of the incident that happened at the Combine. And I don't want nobody bringing about he can't read the defense. All I want to do is put on game film, and you see what I'm talking about. Number 2 guy, of course, that I really like in the draft, I like the young man out of Washington by way of Long Beach, California. Came out of Snoop Dogg's little man's camp when he was about 12 years old, young man John Ross. How can you not like speed? Full speed, 4.22 guy. 4.22. And the thing about him, he's an excellent route runner. And look at his production. He's only a 1-year starter, but look what the young man did. 81 receptions, over 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, and plus he had 2 kickoff returns for TDs. My 3rd guy, I like Mike Williams out of Clemson. One more thing you say, another wide receiver, 6'3", 225 pounds, 42-inch vertical. I don't have to say no more. Every time the stage was big, all you got to do is look at the Alabama National Championship game. He made catch after catch against arguably maybe the best secondary in the country. And if you think I'm lying there, Marlon Humphrey right now is a first-round pick. Micah Fitzpatrick is going to be one of the better defensive backs coming out of 2018. Mike Williams, I love him a lot. And finally, how can you not be in love with the young man out of Florida State, Dalvin Cook? Not Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook. All you got to do is go to the Orange Bowl and see what he did against Michigan. All you got to do is put on the game film against Clemson. And you know what, Minister? He came out of the same high school as Devontae Freeman. So you see there's pedigree there.
Well, there you go right there. Well, listen, Mr. Football, as always, we're up against the end of the show here, sir. Give us the information how people can follow you on social media and website.
Very simple. You can follow me at 100 Yards of Football at Sports Talk Radio. You can listen to me every Saturday morning at 11:20 a.m. The Score, 104.5 out the Peach. And that's how you can reach me, man. And I love talking football. It's a great time of year. Very special athletes are going to get drafted next week. And, hey, what can you say?
There it is, Mr. Football. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Yeah, and tell Miles he's going to be all right. I couldn't mention Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett will be my 5th best player in the draft.
Hey, Dobbs is moving up in that draft board, too.
Man,
baby.
you need to stop that.
Okay,
Hey, you need to stop that.
Mr. Football, thank you so much, bro. Okay, dude, you're gonna call out a quarterback.
He's not even on the radar. On the radar right now.
He actually is, and say they take my second round, man. They say second round.
He's in my second round. You don't even feel comfortable saying
second round. They said it. Second round.
You see, we had to rub his eyes.
He had to rub his eyes, nose, and everything. You know what?
The Pinocchio spirit hit him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. There you go. All right, well, we got to close. Lord have mercy. Listen, Facebook, we're going to give you guys some little after action, so just hang tight there. But we got to wrap it up here on the air. Go ahead, Miles.
Yes, sir. The Redemption Fellowship Christian Ministries, where chains are broken. Pastor Lawrence Williams. Wednesday night Bible study, 7:30. Sunday church, 11 o'clock. 97 Point South Parkway.
VJ?
Good evening, everybody. Good night. Roll Tide.
Reggie?
Stay safe.
Hey, as always, love more, hate less.
Everybody, God bless you, and have a good night. All right, guys, it's been another one of them nights.
I can't even say
this man hot. This man.
This is what we go to, guys. I mean,
he
said,
come on.
Joshua Giles went from being off everybody's radar.
He said everybody's radar.
Because the guy, listen, not only did he started to slide, but then had a bad pro day. Now Miles is saying, hey, that doesn't matter at all. He was going to second round. That's what I love. But see, that's a true fan. So a lot of guys look, when that guy kind of started to slide, they throw him under the bus. But not Miles. Miles said, hey, that's my man.
That's my man.
Right.
50 grand.
He said, Tennessee on ride or die. That's how we do it. That's it.
He called him out. I'm surprised he didn't call out the running back, Kamara. He was waiting for Kamara.
Now, here's the thing. I will say about him, everybody's saying that he
Everybody say good night before I put this on.